Hi. We're going to start out standing today, and as long as your shoulder can do this, put the back of one of your hands against the back of your hips, or right where your hips meet your low back, if that's more comfortable, and then the other hand is going to go on the back of your neck. What we're about to do is not intended to be a shoulder exercise, so if getting in this position is already uncomfortable, switch your hand to your abdomen, and I'd say rather than touching your throat, I don't know, it never really feels good. How about collarbones? There instead. Okay. We're going to move with your breath, but I want to start out just mobilizing your head and your neck. When you exhale, drop your chin towards your chest, and when you inhale, look up towards the ceiling. And just keep going back and forth between those two positions. And I want you to sense what's happening at the back of your neck. When you tip your chin forward, you can feel a tractioning of the tissue back there, so it registers as a stretch, and then the activation of the muscles to lift your head. And so hopefully with your hand palpating that, you can feel that. If you're here, you'll just sense where the movement's happening. One more time. And then up. Now, just so we're switching it up and getting something for our shoulders, reverse which hand is where. I want you to go through flexion and extension again. This time, we're going to flex the whole spine and add a little bend of your knees. So now as you exhale, still chin to chest, you're going to curl the spine and flex the knees down. Inhale, you're going to rise up and lift the chest. Now you'll notice as you round forward, there's a change where your lower hand is. And when you come up, though, we're going to try not to really bend or move from the pelvis too much, isolate it more to the upper back. When you're rounding forward, can you feel the same tractioning in the tissue of your low back leading down to where your hand is, matching what you feel at your neck? So we take both of those anterior curves of the spine, and when we flex forward, we're stretching the extensor muscles that keep the shape there. One more time. Exhale, flex forward, and inhale, back up. Okay, so there, by moving the whole spine, we got to traction both ends. Now, I want to get some more concentrated motion through this region, which has movement potential, but it's also dictated, what we can do here is dictated by the ribs attaching to the spine, the breastbone, the collarbones, the scapula. So there's a lot of structures we can play with. Place one hand, I'll do both hands, right on your sternum. And I was playing around with this, but just like wiggle like I was just doing at the shoulders. So here, when you just wiggle your shoulders around, I want you to feel how the arms, the shoulders, the shoulder blades, the collarbones are all gliding on the structure of the rib cage. The sternum is a little more directly related to what the action is of the spine and the action of the ribs, but it's not segmented like the spine is, right? So you might imagine this as having much more limited potential of movement. With your hands here, can you sense how we can use the breastbone as a fulcrum or a focal point of movement? So let's go back to the flexion and extension you were doing. If you round just your upper body forward, so it doesn't have to be isolated to your neck, but we'll keep your pelvis and legs out of it, you should feel your chest shift away from your hands, like almost like you're pushing yourself backwards. When you rise into your extension, the breastbone is lifting up into your hands and the neck and head follow. So when I exhale, as the ribs come together and down, you feel that sinking in the chest that lets you flex. And when you breathe in, your ribs expand, the breastbone does lengthen a little and pull you back up. One more time through that range. Exhale, flexing. Inhale up. Okay, so hopefully you can feel that little bit of give and take as you're moving through space. Let's turn that into a full circle. So if we start from the flexed position, I want you to side bend. Let your heart lift to bring you into extension, side bend, then collapse into flexion. Inhale for half the circle, exhale for the other half. Inhale, make sure you let the head and the neck complete that same circle one more time, going around, lifting instead of collapsing, and then pulling in and back. Now let's go the other way. We go through the side bend, press into the heels to lift the chest, side bend, and scoop through the front. Even though I said we weren't using your legs, if you are more comfortable with a bend in your knees, please feel free. Keep noticing how your heart is shifting back in space and then forward to lift one more time, around and lifting with that inhale breath, and then back down to flex. Okay, Next movement we're going to execute from a half a lunge if we're going to stay in it for a little while. So if you struggle with your balance, grab onto a chair or a wall, just something that will give you support. Okay, so like I said, you are going to do a lunge, not too deep. You want both of your legs parallel, your back heel off the ground, but make sure there's some bend in your knee. The goal is to hold the weight of your torso over your back leg. You can place your front hand on the top of your thigh or the side of your hip if that's more comfortable for the length of your arm. You're going to start with a side bend. I want you to bend away from the back leg and then back up. Now I'm going to turn towards you so you can see what that looks like from here. Side bend and lift. If you are feeling a little wobbly in your balance, but you don't want to go to the wall, while you side bend, go just a touch lower, and just that little bit of movement is usually enough to ground you more into your feet and give you that support. One more time. Okay. Now I'm going to rotate towards my front leg, and then I'm going to side bend again, which should change how I register the stretch. For some people, this is really useful for the psoas muscle, if that's a problem area. But it also is just getting a different part of your oblique stretched, maybe up into your chest, into your armpit a little bit. And one more time like that. And then back up. Now, while we're still in this rotation, now bow forward. Be careful on this one with the balance. And up. I do actually press my hand into my leg when I'm doing this, just again for a sense of grounding. The more compression I can feel and stability in the parts I'm not moving, lets the part I'm trying to stretch have a little more permission to release. Right? If you feel like you're guarding or bracing, it's kind of hard to let go. And then back up. All right, last one. So I told you you'd be in this lunge for a while. We're going to turn away, and then you're going to side bend again. So I'm going to go back to sideways because I think that's more helpful. I'm going over like this and up. So now I feel like my side bend is aiming just to the side of that front knee. Make sure you're still letting your head fall. I'm feeling the stretch pulling much more up this line of my body. Okay, now I'm going to extend while holding that rotation. This one, don't go down or down with the legs, up with the heart and return. One more time. Lifting and releasing. All right, come on out of that. Let's pivot to the other side. Settle down into that lunge. You can sustain. Front hand's on your leg, or you got it on the wall. Arm goes up, and then you're going to side bend and rise back up. And exhale over. Inhale to lift. Side bend stretch. And up 2 more times. Over. And lift. Over. And lift. Now I'm going to rotate towards the front leg. Side bending again. Okay, so we're going to get this angle. And then back up. And over. And lift. One more time. Okay, so now I'm going to keep this twist, and I'm going to flex forward 3 times, rise back up, curl, and lift. One more time, flexing and rising. Okay, so now we're going to twist towards the back leg, and we side bend towards that front knee, to the side of the front knee, and over. 3 more times, reaching, get it up into that shoulder, and last 2. One more time. All right, let's finish with those 3 extensions. So I'm still in that twist. I'm coming up and down. Up and down. One more time. Lifting and dropping. All right, out of there. Let's go down onto the mat, onto your back now. Leave a little space in between your legs. Feet are about 6 to 8 inches away from your hips. We're going to do a bridge style lift, and you're going to roll on the way back down. When you exhale, push your pelvis straight up into a bridge. Try to make a clean line, ribs to hips to knees. Now when you come down, one bone at a time, I'm going to work through the ribs, the low back. You see I'm trying to keep my hips off the mat as long as I can, and then unravel to neutral. Exhale, press the pelvis up. Inhale, roll down. So we were talking about tractioning the tissue in the back of your body. You will feel this differently, but same idea. Hips up. I'm trying to use flexing my spine and now pushing the bones down into the tissue to create that release through the low back. One more time like that, pressing up and rolling back down. Now, let's bridge in both directions. I'm going to have you put one foot on top of the other foot. If that's not comfortable, you could turn it out, but ideally, you can get the arch of your foot on the other thigh and kind of push this knee in towards the midline so that the air knee is at the midline. I'm going to push down on that top foot, lift the hips up to make a bridge, and lower back down. Exhale to lift. Inhale to return. By pushing down on that top leg before I lift the hips, it gives me a better shot to feel the muscles in the back of both hips push me up, which will be a lot more glutes on this side because you can't access the hamstring the same way in this weird position. All right, switch it. Foot on. I'm trying to draw that leg in towards the midline. Then I push down on that leg, lift the hips up and bridge. Inhale to return. Exhale, compress your abs, lift your hips up. Inhale to lower. Exhale up. Inhale, release, and one more time, lifting and lowering back down. All right, onto your side, grab a quick spinal rotation. Legs in tabletop position, arm reaching forward. And when I say quick, don't rush the movement, but let's do it on a 2-breath pattern. When you breathe in, you're going to rotate your upper body. Keep those knees anchored down and just twist the upper half. Exhale to close back over. And again, inhale, big wide breath across your chest, and exhale to close back down. Inhale, up and back, drawing a rainbow, and exhale, close. 2 more times, inhale, and exhale back. Last one, big inhale, reaching, and exhale back over. All right, flip it to your other side. It's my favorite part of class is actually just doing that. every week. All right, legs in tabletop, back straight. Like, why do we do this exercise so much? That's why. Top arm forward. All right, feel that elongated spine, and then let's spiral around it. Inhale, you reach back, take your big yawning stretch. Exhale, pull your abs in, lift your arm and close. And again, inhale, reach back, opening through the front. Exhale, compress and close it back over. And inhale up, try to track that hand moving with your gaze. Exhale, pull your abs in, close back down. And inhale up and back. Exhale, close. You got one more time. Big reaching back, feel your chest making bigger as you breathe in. And exhale, close back down again. All right, onto your back. Let's go back to the neutral spine with your knees bent. You're going to place your hands behind your head, angle your elbows forward just a little bit. Let's go through a few ab preps just to check your form. Make sure you're in the right muscles and all that good stuff. Try to keep a neutral pelvis as you move. You're going to nod your chin, curl up your head and shoulders. I want you to try to lift till you're at the very bottom tip of your shoulder blade, looking right at your thighs, and then inhale to come back down. As you exhale, tip your chin down, curl forward, stare at the thighs, and inhale to return. As you curl up, angling the elbows forward allows you to spread your shoulder blades a bit and lower down, and exhale, flex up. Inhale, lower. One more like this, and lower back down. Now rock into imprint. Take your legs up one at a time into tabletop position. Let's do 5 more holding your legs this. The abs will feel a little more intense now because you have to hold the legs in the air. As you exhale, tip your chin down, feel your breath draw your ribs towards your hips. Inhale, control the return. Exhale, nod your chin, flex forward, look at the thighs. Inhale as you return. Curl up, try to leave your head supported by your hands, and lower. 2 more times, flex forward. And lower back down. Last one, curl up. Lower back down. Now your head's going to stay up. Keep staring at your thighs. Alternate reaching one leg out at a time. Now, because you're sustaining the flexion, if your neck gets tired, put your head down. Keep focused on the imprint and doing the alternating legs. Let's do 4, 3, 2. I want you to hold the last one. Now we're going to add rotation for obliques a little more. Twist towards your bent knee. Switch legs as you come through center and exhale, rotate. Now this too, let's say, if you know this exercise and you could do this, keep doing that. If you need, it can be an up, down, if that's better for what your neck needs today. I'm going to go back to the other one. Side. Sorry if I'm off pace with you guys now. Side to side. You've got 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Let's go to center. Drop your head. Draw your knees in towards your chest. All right, we're going to do one more ab-focused exercise like that with the endurance of holding your upper body up. But again, head could go down the whole time, part of the time. We're going to do scissors. Reset your legs in tabletop. Make sure you still feel a connection to that imprint. Nod your chin, curl up your head and shoulders, and look at your legs. Now, straighten your legs up to the ceiling. You're going to drop one leg and draw the other one towards you. We're going to do a pulse action. Start to switch the legs, pulse for 2. Now, I'm showing a very soft bend to my knee. And if you're tight in your hamstrings or your low back, you may not have a choice. You might just do that anyway. But this is a good way to release the part that's so uncomfortable, makes you not want to make this problem better. And reach, reach. Now, keep doing the exercise, but I want you to flex your feet. Everything else the same. But now that's going to intensify a little bit the pull on the upper leg, because now I'm stretching the calf as well. Let's do 4 and 3, 2, and 1. All right, head down, knees back into your chest. Let's roll you over onto your stomach now. I don't know why I'm always off my mat when I flip over. All right, arms in the W position, legs parallel, hip width apart. Let's just start with our simple breaststroke prep. The first variation just to feel those muscles of the upper back. We're going to add to this, but right now I want you to sense subtle so that when we layer, we're still in the right muscles. Reach your head away from your toes so you feel a little bit longer while you're really close to the ground. Now start the movement with your eyeballs. I want you to look towards the end of the mat so your head starts to tip back. Push into your forearms and pull your shoulder blades together and down as you press your chest away from the floor. Now stay up for an inhale with just your bottom rib touching the mat. As you exhale, pull your abs in and start to lower down. Sink your ribs one at a time, then your chest, neck, and head. Inhale at the bottom, reaching your head away from your toes. As you exhale, start to lift up. Gaze towards the end of the mat. Draw your shoulder blades back and down. Open the chest wide as you lift. Hold here. Breathe in, feeling your chest expand. Exhale, compress your abs, lower down, one bone at a time. One more time at the bottom. Inhale. Exhale, start to lift. Now as you hold for that inhale, see if you can use your breath to expand the front even more. Exhale, lower back down. Now, turn your toes out and open your legs about as wide as the mat. I'm going to turn this off for 1 second and cough. That was great. Okay. I'm going to have you start out already slightly hovering. Press yourself up to that extension we just did. Now, the next phase we're going to add will be to rotate your head to the left and straighten your left arm. And then come back down until your ribs are touching. I'm going to look to the right, lift my right forearm up, and then lower. Now, if you're doing this right, so I'm turning my head and I'm lifting, it is pushing me. Straightening the arm is pushing me off towards my right hand right now. So this is really a rotation and a bit of extension, if we're really calling out positions. One more to each side. Lifting and twisting. I have one hip even coming off, but it's head, shoulders, rib, hips rotate last, and then back down. Okay, that'll be back in a second. Now, how about some full extension through the middle? So we got pretty close to it on that one. This time, lift your head and your chest, still pushing through your forearms, but then we're going to keep coming up, taking your elbows off the mat. We're going to rise all the way into full extension. Stay here and take a breath in. Now, as you exhale, you're going to come back down. Try to make your body feel longer. So we're trying to stretch that belly, then your ribs, then your neck and your head. So let's talk about your hands. When I lift the head and chest, I'm pushing down on the forearms and pulling the shoulder blades back. Now, as soon as the elbows start to lift, My hands are pressing into the floor, but it's as if I was going to slide my hand that way. So I'm pushing away with the heel of the hand to make me lift. Therefore, when I start coming back down, it has to feel like I'm dragging the heels of my hand towards my foot, like it was going that way. And then I get into those forearms where I have the most support to release. Let's try that one more time. Inhale, head and chest lift, shoulder blades draw back. Now I'm pretending to push away with the heels of my hand to bring me up. And then when I start to come down again, it's going to be dragging myself forward to feel longer and lay out flat. Let's put it all together, rotate and fully extend. All right, I'm going to push up. So the lowest I'm going to get here is that half up on my forearms position. I'm going to turn my head to the side, straightening one elbow. Then I'm going to extend the other elbow, go to the swan dive in the middle, put the left elbow down as I look right, and the right elbow down as I come to the center. Now I'm back in that low position. Now I'm going to turn my head to the right and straighten my right elbow, then my left elbow, bend the right elbow and turn my head to the left, both forearms down, look down. Turn to the left and extend the elbow. Both arms long through the middle. Rotate to the other side and drop the arm. Lift the right arm, both up through center, left side, and down. Turn to the left. Push yourself up. Rotate right. Drop back down. One more time. Straighten the right arm. Come up through the middle. Turn to the left. Drop it down. All right, sit back towards your heels. I love doing those all in a row because I also feel like I use my arms a little bit by the end. Not like the main point of that, but hey, why not? All right, take a big breath in. Hold for your exhale. Give me another breath in, and then roll up to a sitting position. Okay. We're going to do forearm supported move first. You're going to have your legs double stacked like a mermaid. You want your elbow underneath your shoulder. I must be coming down with allergies. This little thing in my throat's really annoying. Let's take your top arm. You're going to reach it out to the side like that. We're going to rotate both of your knees apart like a double clamshell, and that will lift you up into a side plank. When you exhale, compress your abs, push down into your bottom knee, turn your top knee out to rotate and lift you. Inhale, back down. If that's not on the table for you, just do this. All right, exhale, press into the forearm, rotate out. We're going to feel a lot of connection through the shoulder, abs on this side, as well as the hip muscle that's helping you turn out your leg. Exhale. And inhale, lower. Brace down into that arm and lower back down. One more time like this, lifting up and lower. Keep the legs like that. Come up onto your hand and spread your fingertips apart really wide. Now let's do 5 side bends. To initiate this one, slide the shoulder down to start the move. Let your ribs shift over. Lift your hips again, but now we're going to keep the legs together, squeezing those inner thighs and lower back down. As you lift up, you want to push your hips forward a little bit, let your head fall, and inhale as you return. Exhale, up and over into the side bend, and lower. 2 more times. Make sure you're initiating with that shoulder dropping so we're in the right support muscles, and lower back down. One more time. Up and over, and return. Let's go to the other side. Okay. So you're on your forearm, shoulder right above the elbow. Legs in that clamshell position. My hand there. Arm goes out here. All right. Remember, your back up's this if you don't want to lift up into your forearm. Exhale, press into that forearm, pivot on the knee, rise up, and then lower back down. Exhale, lift, and inhale, return. Exhale up, compressing those deep abs, and lower. 2 more times. Exhale up and down. One more. Exhale up and down. All right, up onto your hand. Spread your fingertips apart. Other arms on your side. And let's side bend. Drop your working shoulders, shift your ribs, lift your hips. Side bend. inhale to come back down. And again, exhale, up and over, and inhale to lower. Exhale, compress those abs, lift, side bend. Inhale, return, 2 more times. Side bend over, and lower back down. 1 more time. Exhale, side stretch. And inhale to release. All right, swing those legs around, stick them out in front of you. Leave a little space in between the legs. They can be straight or slightly bent. Give yourself the sensation in your alignment. You're on your sit bones. Pretend you're sitting up against a wall. So your hips, ribs, and head are all stacked up. Spine stretch forward. Nod your chin. Curl forward and slide your hands down towards your feet as you're flexing your spine. Stay here to take a breath in. Now, when you roll up, this becomes an awareness exercise. Like, where is that imaginary wall? How do I line up my spine to vertical when it isn't straight and there isn't a wall? Inhale, grow a little bit taller. So on the way down, we've got the clues. When I tip my chin down, I feel that tractioning in the back of my neck. As I round forward, the shoulder blades split apart, and my breath causes my ribs to curl together and down. Now breathe in. So we want to go up backwards. That was our clue. So now I have to draw those ribs back to start the motion. Pull the shoulder blades back to let the chest expand, and lift the head up last. Exhale, drop your chin down, flex forward, gliding your hands towards your legs. Breathe in, stay there, focusing the breath into your back, and then roll back up again. Now swing your arms around behind you to just a fingertip touch. I want you to pull your shoulder blades back and push your chest up. So remember how we began this class. I'm moving from the breastbone, and then return. And again, lifting your heart and your chin, pulling the blades back and releasing. 1 more time like this, opening and then releasing. Let's just end with 1 more, a little bit tougher. Knees bent. We're going to go hands now flat because they're going to support some body weight. You can ditch on this one if you don't want to do 1 more wrist exercise. Be done right now. Otherwise, fingertips can be pointing in. That's going to be very extreme on the wrists. So you may prefer a little bit turned out like that or a lot of bit like that. All right. We bridged and hip rolled down before. Now we're going to hip roll in both directions into this reverse. I don't know what this is called. I'm drawing a blank, and we're going to let that go. On your exhale, curl your hips off the mat. Leg pull. Inhale there. Roll back down. And exhale, curl the pelvis off. You want to keep looking forward at the wall as you lift your hips as high as your knees and roll back down. This will strengthen your glutes, open the front of your hips, but it'll also stretch the front of your shoulders, hopefully, and roll back down. And exhale, lift. And lower. Just 1 more time to finish. Exhale, roll up. And lower back down. All right, to almost finish. Let's stand up. We are really otherwise done. Just roll out your wrists a little bit. And if I'm rolling out my wrists a little bit, that also means I should probably roll out my ankles a little bit. So now arms back to casual blades out to the side. Put your weight into one leg. Take your other leg out to the side. And when you found your balance, see if you can roll your ankle around the same way. I haven't figured out how to do both ankles at the same time. Handstand against the wall. Maybe next week. If you have not reversed it, reverse it. I'm sure I could not do that either. But it's fun to pretend. All right, let's take it to the other side, but let your arms stop blading for a second. Blade them out. Also, energizing that way should recruit energizing up the torso, but if it doesn't, you could plant through that foot, make your head real tall, and then shoot that other leg out to the side. That's like a quick, crappy lesson in how to balance. Okay, ankle. And then reverse it. So y'all, I hope you have a good day today. Or a good day tomorrow if you're doing this at night. I just don't know. I don't know. Yeah, that's it. That's the day. I'll see you soon. Peace be with you.